Hey, what's up, guys? John here. What's happening in the world is shocking, and I think most Americans can't realize it or comprehend it, and most just want to pretend as though it's just going to go away and this is not really a problem. Because we've had it so good for so long. I mean, the last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years have been pretty easy street. I mean, from 1970 to now, sure, there's been ups and downs with inflation. We left the gold standard, a couple ups and downs in the economy, sure, had some problems without question, but we never worried about food. We never had real scarcity. We never had the concerns that third world countries generally always had, which is getting proper water and nutrition and eating well and having a roof over your head. In America, you really didn't have those problems, not in mass scale anyway. But now we're seeing some very interesting things come over here from other countries. Right now, we're seeing in the UK is pretty shocking. They're warning of apocalyptic food prices. Apocalyptic food prices. And they're blaming the entire situation on Ukraine, saying that they're paying, food prices are going so high and all this chaos that we're experiencing is because of Ukraine. Meanwhile, we were already in 2 years of problems. So to literally say that it's all this, to me, is kind of ridiculous. There was already massive problems in this economy and the world. And so I don't buy that. Now what they're doing, though, is they're actually trying to limit school portions for children that are going to school. Or if they can't do that, they're going to decrease the quality of ingredients, the nutrition inside of their meals. And most people in the UK, I was looking at this article, it says skipping meals and shrinking portions, Brits are being warned of apocalyptic food prices. And they go on to say a survey of 2,000 Britons conducted by Ipsos and Sky News, 89% said they were concerned about how the cost of living crisis would affect the country as a whole over the next 6 months, while 83% were concerned about their personal circumstance. This isn't, 20% or 15%, 89%. So out of 100 people, 89 people would be in that category. You think about how much of a problem this is. So people are saying, oh, stock market's probably going to bounce back, or real estate's going to do this, or crypto's going to do this. At the end of the day, if you had $100 or $1,000 or $5,000, what would you invest in? Would you invest to ensure that you had utilities on the next month? Would you invest in food? Would you want gas in your car? Would you want to, have a roof over your head? I'm sure you would. And I'm sure you put your money there and you wouldn't put it in some type of speculative investment. That's why I'm kind of bearish on a lot of investments right now, because I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know. I don't have the foresight like Bill Gates, one of these billionaires. Like Bill Gates, if anyone has foresight, it's him. Like, look at these articles. June 19th, 2020, right? June 19th, 2020. June 19th, 2020 again. October of 2021, he invests 21 million, Series A round, right? You look at the shortages we're having right now. I mean, like, this guy has foresight. I don't have the foresight that, someone like Bill Gates has, where he can just, see the problems a year and a half, 2 years in advance, park his money, plow it right in, and then and those problems start to reveal themselves, then he makes billions of dollars on it. I don't have that type of foresight. But what I can promise you is that these problems are just starting. These problems are just starting, and this food situation, it's pretty wild to me how much control people will lose when food prices continue to skyrocket. Because we all know that this isn't going to be the end. They're talking right now about these apocalyptic price hikes and that they need to increase interest rates more. It says it wouldn't be surprising to see food price inflation over the course of a year running towards 8 or 10%. So in reality, I mean, you do the math. They say CPI here is 8.3%. Many people would say it's 3x that or 4x that. So if they're saying 8 to 10%, that you do the numbers. What do you think that number really would be when you go to the grocery store? You go actually shop and invest that money in food, right? That's the big question. So as this continues to rise, we're going to start to see higher crime rates. We're going to start to see poverty continue to kick in. We're going to start to see people breaking into houses, I believe, to take food and stuff like that. It sounds crazy, but if you are a father or a mother and you have a child and you can't afford food, what are you going to do, right? You're going to do whatever you have to do to feed that child. That's what I think is ultimately going to happen. I think we're actually headed there as a society. Not to be like a doom and gloom guy or anything like that, but it's reality. If you're spending $5-6 a gallon of milk, If you're going to the gas pump, it's costing you $140 to fill up a six-cylinder car. What do you think is going to happen? There's going to be more crime. There's going to be people doing things they otherwise would not do just because out of sheer survival, right? That's what I think is ultimately happening. That's why I think we're going to see a really, really big change really, really soon in America. We're going to start leaving this comfort spot. They said that food scarcity fears mount. Food scarcity concerns have been mounting over the recent months as the war in Ukraine has exacerbated the existing food supply chain issues. Ukraine, seen the breadbasket of Europe, has been unable to export grains, fertilizers, vegetable oils amid the conflict, while ongoing fighting has destroyed the crop fields and disrupted regular harvest. MHP, the largest producer and exports of chicken in Ukraine and a major supplier of grain and sunflower oil, said Tuesday that the current situation amounted to agricultural crisis. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Never seen anything like this in my life. We've had this. We've gotten a war. We've got China, their policy, and we've made freight just about impossible. And we've got this. You saw it all come like. All of this is compounded, frankly, into the non-functional global supply chain system. The United States and the Eastern Europe Union, the European Union, said over the weekend that they are looking at how to improve food supply chains and navigate export restrictions. It comes after India on Saturday announced the ban of wheat exports to manage the overall food security in the country. Indonesia, meanwhile, earlier implemented restrictions on exports of palm oil, a key component in many food products, in a bid to curb food shortages at home. So that's what I think is going to be happening. I think we're going to start to really, really see food prices pick up in a big, big way. And that is why I believe that if you are going to invest, make sure you're investing in something that has real value, like real intrinsic value, not just buying some type of speculative, some would call it an asset. I would call it like a speculative gamble, without just betting money on something that you know doesn't have true utility. That wouldn't be smart. You want to invest and you want to spend your money on things that are going to supply real value to you, to your life, to your family. If you're not putting your money there, I think that's going to be a big mistake. I also think another big mistake would be to spend a lot on a credit card with a high interest rate, knowing that you won't be able to pay off the balance. I think right now, I've mentioned this before, but getting into some type of debt consolidation, doing something to bring down the debt loads and coming out with a way to where you can comfortably afford to live in terms of housing costs. Bring those housing costs down as much as possible. You reduce the car payment if possible. Do whatever you can do. Bring in new income streams. Fix the credit. Get everything on par. So when these problems begin happening here, you have more wiggle room. There's more flexibility. You have investments. You have options. I think that's what's important right now, is having good options, having a really good plan, having cash reserves. But the good thing is, we're paying attention to what's happening right now. Most people aren't. Most people think this is just going to be a nothing problem and it's just going to go away. I think we all know that this problem has just started, and I think it's going to get real very, very soon. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop your comments below. Hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube is going to share this content to educate more people about what's really happening. Also, subscribe to my second YouTube channel. It's going to be an interactive show and a podcast starting next week. It's going to be really, really cool. And then LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everything's in the banner. I'll catch you guys later.